Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the ACHA Power Play live right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and, of course, on our Facebook page, the Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page, and on X at the Real Captain Lou. Happy Veterans Day, November the 11th of 2025. And while we got a second again, we want to take we'll take a second and thank everybody who has served for us, those that are serving right now in the armed forces, those that gave the ultimate sacrifice to be able to let guys like me do shows like this to promote things that we love and our passion. And that, of course, is hockey and sports in general. So thank you to all the veterans that served. All right, it is again the ACHA Power Play on the Captain Lou Sports Network. We got a lot to talk about tonight, a lot to get to. The latest rankings are out in women's D1. We'll go through those. Men's D1, men's D3, everything in the world of ACHA hockey. Season 10, episode 6 is upon us. And joining us here momentarily, the head coach of the Mavericks of Nebraska-Omaha. That's Nick Harrahill. He's going to stop by. They're fifth ranked right now in Division III, off to a great start. And at the bottom of the hour, Dave Kurtz, the director of hockey operations for the ACHA. He's going to stop by. It was him and I 10 years ago who came up with this concept for the Power Play podcast. And we're going to talk about that and everything that's going on in his world in the ACHA. So without any further ado, let's bring in the head coach of the Mavericks of the Nebraska-Omaha, ranked number 5 in the country in men's Division III, Nick Harrahill. Nick, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, Lou. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm great. Anytime I can talk hockey, ACHA brand, it's always a good night. Well, Nick, your team's off to a great start this year. Tell us a little bit about it. What's been the secret sauce so far?
Yeah, we got a lot of great leadership on the team. That's really where it starts. You know, if I think of guys like Cam Fories, Troy Hunsker, Chase Mann, those are our 3 captains, but it really bleeds down from all over the place. You know, we've got, guys like Jackson Roberts. We got a transfer, Neville Veillon. It comes from a multitude of different areas, and it starts with guys who are willing to try to take this program to the next level.
Now, you guys ended up ranked 27th, I believe, or 24th at the end of last year, and able to grow on that. Now, pardon me, I thought I knew all the D3 teams. I started out just doing a D3 podcast. How long has Nebraska-Omaha had an ACHA team?
Yeah, so I want to say we've been around for 6 years. This is my 3rd year with the team, so fairly new.
Yeah. Okay, so and if I remember right, you guys play in the the
MACA.
The MACA. Why do I always get that? I always get it mixed up with the MCHC here in Michigan.
Yeah.
And
Close.
You got some great competition in that conference to keep you guys solid and help build on that record.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we got Dort right there in our division. They represented the MACA Nationals last year. They've got a great coach in Tyler Morgan there who leads a great program. So we try to model what we do off them and how they've built their program. Teams all over the division are incredibly well ran, though. You know, Missouri State's another one that comes to mind. The Huskers are always great. KU is another solid program as well. So it's really good competition in the MACA.
So the season that you've had so far, I was looking at your record or your schedule, and this schedule's been nothing to sneeze at. What really impressed me the most too, Nick, is the boys went down to Florida and swept a series against Florida Gulf Coast, and that's it's tough to keep that mindset going because you got the sunshine and everything, along with getting a couple of hockey games in.
Right. The guys are just so bought in. So even when we made that trip, the guys knew it was a business trip. Yeah. Of course, I want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy the experience because that's what it's all about. Is have a great collegiate experience while we're also playing hockey too. So when we got to the rink, it was time to dial it in. Even before we left on the bus to get to the rink, making sure we watched our film. We did our pre-scout on FGCU, so we were ready to play. So credit to the team.
And also looking at some of the other games that you've played this year, going up against the Notre Dame team that's made trips to the Nationals. A nice weekend set against them too.
Yeah. So Notre Dame, they're a really tough team. Just we got a lot of guys on here who want to make this a different kind of program. So I'm just really excited about what we've got here. And yeah, our strength of schedule has been great so far. We're really excited about the opportunities we've had and the opponents that we've played. We just played a really good Kansas team last weekend. We got 2 wins out there. So we just got to keep it rolling. So we're really excited about what we've got. And, it's been a fun experience so far.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the team buying in, but these series that we're talking about, Nick, they're all on the road, man. I mean, a lot of times some teams get a little intimidated by taking a road trip like that, but not you guys. You guys have been off to a great start on the road.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So again, we just have a great winning mindset. It's a championship like culture. When we get to the hotel before we leave to the rink, it's kind of unload. We'll watch some film on our opponents. We'll try to be ready and dial it in. And when we get to the rink, it's business. So the guys are just ready to play, and they have a ton of fun. But it's we make sure we get our business done first.
And I got to tip my fedora off to you. The team that you've got right now, Nick, you guys are young. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got, I think I counted 2 seniors and a grad student, and the rest are predominantly freshmen and sophomore.
Correct.
I mean, when buying in at such a young statute, I guess, as far as a class standing, that's remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, when we really look at it, our first line is 2 freshmen and a sophomore. Our second line is the same. So we're getting. I mean, our third line it's all freshmen and sophomores, and we've got a couple juniors, Sebastian Cassiopo and Cam Fories. There's a couple other guys in there too, but yeah, I mean, we're anchored by freshmen and sophomores.
And I look at your stats that you guys so far. I think you've outscored your teams 79-25, and the one that I think stands out the most, if I can look it up real quick, you've got 18 different guys that have scored a goal on your roster this year. That's about as spread out as it gets.
Yeah, no, like top to bottom, we like to play 4 lines in a game more than probably a lot of other teams, because we believe that depth kills. So we try to run 4 as much as possible. And I believe in any of the lines that we can get out on the ice and compete at any time. So, and these guys, they want to compete. Guys who might be on 4th or 5th line right now, like they want to show that they can do more, get special teams ice. So it's a constant competition between our own team itself. So the guys just work and they want to continue to prove something. So it's been fun.
And it's not just the forwards. I look at your defensemen that are putting the puck in the net too. You got Charlie Loudon's. What is he, the 3rd leading scorer on your team with 12 helpers? That's gonna make you happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I mean, he can dish the puck. He's a big-bodied, physical defenseman. So he's going to hit you hard. Then he's going to make a play with the puck. I mean, if I'm playing against him, that's not a recipe that I want to go against. So Charlie's a solid player. I mean, you got guys like Zach Farnsworth. He's a smooth skating player too. On one of my power plays, I got 4 defensemen. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it's a unique team, but we can call and count on anybody at any time.
And I look at your roster, Nick, and and I know this sounds crazy, but you don't think of Nebraska as a hockey hotbed, but obviously you're building a successful team so far with the majority of your kids from Nebraska.
Yeah, look, I think Nebraska, and really the whole Midwest, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri is really overlooked in the hockey landscape. I coached the Omaha Junior Lancers for 10 years in the Midwest High School League, and we won the national tournament in 2021.
Wow.
There's a lot of good hockey players that come from out of there. So trying to tap into those resources. We got a good handful of Minnesota kids as well. That certainly helps, but there's a lot of good hockey here. So it's I'm trying to take every little nook and cranny that I can in the recruiting, and we're building this thing up, trying to do it the right way.
And I look at the back end, and I don't care. 100% of the coaches I talk to, Nick, they tell me, it does start with defense and your goaltending. And when you've got a team goaltending goals against of 1.79, I mean,
it helps.
That's stout, eh?
Yeah, Yeah, we've got 3 guys that we put in the net, and now he's a transfer from Midland University. Cameron Moore, he's a Kansas City kid, originally from Ontario, moved to Kansas City, and then Easton Mesher from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So you got a senior, a sophomore, and a freshman. And I mean, those guys are competitors. They compete with each other in practice. They're great teammates to one another, but they all want the net, but they all support one another when they don't have it. So they push each other, they support each other. You can't really ask anything better from we don't have 2 goalies. We've got 3 great goalies that, we get minutes to, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, I've yet to meet a coach that really complains about having 3 constant goaltenders. Sometimes some of the coaches that I've talked to said, we just get the coin out and flip it to see which one's going to start. Have you resorted to that yet?
Not yet. No, haven't gotten to that spot yet. So it's thankfully we've got a decent rotation that we try to follow. And, Noel, he's kind of the proven one. He's a senior. He's done this before. So we know we can count on him. Cameron Moore is really pushing, though. And Easton Mesher, he's had 3-4 starts so far, and every outing he's had, he's been stout as well. So it's been fun.
So one of the things you got to tell Noel, he's already got a leg up on your other goalies, but I give out an award at the end of the year for the goaltender with the most points.
Okay.
So he's got a helper.
He does.
And they even get a better award. I've yet to give this out, and I've got a trophy, I swear to God. If one of the goalies scores a goal, I'll send it. So you got to let goaltenders know that.
All right. I will spread the word, and they will go for it. So they practice it.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. We're joined here tonight by Nick Harrahill, head coach of Nebraska-Omaha, the Mavericks, currently ranked number 5 in the country in men's Division III. Nick, I know this is safe to say it's probably the highest ranking. The kids look at it, they see it, how do they keep that level head?
Yeah, so this is honestly the first time we've even been ranked in our program's history. So that was kind of the hard thing for me, is deciding what I wanted to do and how I wanted to handle it. Do I just let it roll? But I think the way that I handled it is I want to acknowledge it. I want to show that I'm proud of the team, because I am. It's quite the accomplishment. But I asked the team, do they want to be ranked in the top 5 right now or at the end of the season? And then Cam Moore was the one who goes, both. I go, amen. So they know, this is just a temporary spot. We got to earn it every single game that we play. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't incredibly proud of where we're at right now. We just have to maintain it.
So now, and then this weekend, you've got 3 games against some very formidable foes. You put that number 5 ranking on the line with Arkansas, Missouri State, and Colorado School of the Mines. Now, that school right there, the third one, they always bring a good brand of hockey.
Yeah. So we've played Mines the last couple of years too. So they've came to Omaha. So the first year they swept us, and last year we returned the favor. So a little rubber match this year. So we're looking forward to that. We've played Missouri State twice already. So we got them once, and they gave us our 1 loss this year. And Arkansas, we've never played. So, but they got a great player, Will Sloan there. They got some good goaltending. So 3 great games on tap, and we're really excited about the opportunity to play all of them.
And I have to ask you, I've run into this a lot this year with these games with other coaches in all the divisions. You win convincingly one night, and then the next night you lose to the team. And in some instances, not really with you guys winning 5-0 and losing 6-0. I mean, what do you attribute that to, Nick?
Yeah, hockey's a silly game. Hockey's a silly game. And look, Missouri State is a really, really good team, and they're really well coached. Cody's always got his team ready to play. And, the first 2 periods of the Friday game when we played Missouri State, anything and everything that could go wrong did go wrong for them. So the score is not indicative of their team at all. And the third period is they try to set a tone for the next day, and they did. And then Saturday was an absolute just hard fought game where they came out, as the winners. So credit to them. They were the better team that game.
So I have to ask you, you talked about, and I saw your bio, you were very successful as a coach, before you came to Nebraska-Omaha. What attracted you to take over the reins as a coach of the Mavericks?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to family. I've got a wife, and I've got 3 kids. Three boys, they all love hockey, 5, 3, and 1. And you know, we practice later at night, where
Okay.
as opposed to the high school, it was like 4:30. So it was adjusting my work schedule and everything. So coming to this team has actually opened up a lot of time for me to be with my family more. My two older kids come on road trips.
Wow.
So it's been such a great opportunity for my entire family to stay involved with the game, try to build up a program, and you know, push the passion down on my kids too.
So they're all going to be hockey boys. Is any of them going to be a goalie?
I hope not. I don't want to pay for the pads. No,
I ask everybody that. I get the same answer. So you're just like the rest of them, Nick. That's funny.
yeah, we'll see. Whatever they want to do, whatever they want, and you know, if they don't want to end up playing hockey, that's okay too. It's whatever they want to do, but they're loving it already. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, sorry, the internet cut out right at the last second there. So,
Yeah.
getting back to your team, like I say, doing really well, but every coach to a man will say, well, there's still something we really need to kind of keep working on. What would that be for your
Defensive
boys?
awareness. We call it the awareness.
Okay.
So it's, you know, like we get so focused in on, you know, a quick task in the defensive zone, and we try to turn it up and we try to keep tempo up high, where we try to play with such tempo that sometimes we'll let people slip around us. So that's, we got to have a little bit better defensive awareness at all times in D zone. We can't let little stinky plays like that get around us. So we got to be smarter there. And I think once we clean that up, you know, we'll be great. Like we gave up a goal against Kansas because we let a guy just kind of sit behind us back door, where that should really never happen.
Okay.
So it's just things where we got to watch that on film. We got to learn from it. We got to keep getting better from it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that we need to continue to improve on.
And then I see that you're coming over to Chicago the weekend before Thanksgiving for the Big Ten Classic. There's such a great lineup of teams for D1 and D3. I'm going to probably be over there for that. I'm excited for that. There's such a showcase of talent there.
Yeah, we're super excited for the opportunity. You know, Joe, he ran a showcase in Omaha for us, and we did a tournament at the beginning of the season. And
Okay.
like that was a blast. We had Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan, and Arizona State out in Omaha, and we did a little 4-way tournament there. And he invited us out to Chicago, and you know, we jumped on the opportunity. And to be able to play a team like Wisconsin and Indiana, two teams we've never played, two really well-known programs, we're excited to expand the horizons and continue to get tough tests.
So what playing experience did you have before you got into coaching, Nick?
Yeah, so I mean, I played all through Omaha. So it was OMAHA, kind of growing up, junior Mavericks to the junior Lancers. Played a little up north, but nothing too crazy. Hopefully I'm a better coach than I was a player.
Well, I never saw you play, but I could tell by the results you're a heck of a coach. So I'm sure you were a decent player. What team did you grow up watching in the NHL?
I was a Red Wings fan, actually. So I see some of the jerseys behind you. So Nicholas
I knew I liked
Lindstrom.
you. All
Yeah,
right.
Lindstrom, he was my favorite player growing up, and Yzerman. So all those guys, Holmstrom, Carnival, but yeah, I grew up loving Nicholas Lindstrom.
Oh, boy, wasn't he something? I tell you what, it's incredible. Just, you know, and I yearn for those days. I know it's been a slow go to get that winning formula back. Maybe this year. They started out hot, but I don't know. They're kind of leveling off a little bit.
Yeah, I think I got faith. The Yzer plan, it'll come together. I'm not too worried about it.
I do too. It's, you know, he inherited a lot of rough contracts and finally getting over it. I think he's got some young kids coming that are really going to do good.
Yeah, I mean, and the drafting's been phenomenal too. So I mean, I think it's going to come sooner rather than later. Larkin deserves it.
Agreed, 100%. Nick, hey, thanks for taking time out to be with us tonight. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Good luck this weekend with the 3 games, and then the following weekend in Chicago, and then the schedule just keeps getting tougher and tougher, but you guys are doing really well so far. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Lou. I really appreciate what you do for the ACHA, and thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. All right, Nick, take care.
All right, have a good one.
You bet. Nick Harrahill, the head coach of Nebraska-Omaha, the Mavericks, currently ranked 5th in the country in men's D3. He's taken that team to some great heights in his 3rd year coaching the Mavericks, and I think they're going to be a mainstay in Division III. They've got a lot of very young talent. And as he mentioned, 18, they've got 18 players that have scored a goal this year. And that says a lot for the depth of that team. When he said they roll 3, 4, maybe 5 lines. And so just an amazing start for them. 1 loss in the regular season, and these teams start in early to mid-September. And they take that marathon part of the schedule. They got a lot of games in. And for them, I hope that they can maintain it. Maybe we can see them down in St. Louis come next March, as the road to St. Louis 2026 is well on its way, as we are less than 4 months away. Let's see, December. I always do December, January, February. 4 months from puck drop in St. Louis for all 5 divisions of the 2026 national tournament. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to get you set up with those rankings in Men's 1, Men's 3. The women's latest D1 rankings, fresh off the press, just came down the line about an hour or so ago. So we're going to go through all of that and more. You're watching the ACHA Power Play right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. And, of course, all of our Facebook pages, the Extravaganza, ACHA Power Play, and on X at The Real Captain Lou. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here. Hey, is there a ball game you want to go to last minute? How about the Spartans at Spartan Stadium? Go to the Big House to watch the Wolverines. Is there an NFL game you want to go to? Lambeau Field, Ford Field, wherever, Baltimore. How about the Tigers for the pennant drive? Well, go to SeatGeek. Get those tickets there. Use the promo code Captain Lou right on the screen, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. So go to the Spartan game. Go to the Big House. But use the promo code Captain Lou at SeatGeek, and you'll be all set. That's right. If there's an NFL game you want to go to, the Lions in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles this Sunday night, Red Wings in hockey, NHL, college hockey, whatever. Go to SeatGeek. Use that promo code, Captain Lou. It's that simple. You get $20 off your purchase. And so I want to thank Nick Harrahill again for joining us, the head coach of Nebraska-Omaha. The Mavericks ranked 5th in the country in men's Division III. We're going to start off by looking at their rankings, the latest D3 rankings. If we get them updated before the end of the show, we'll be sure to pass them along. Their next rankings will be coming out probably the end of this week. So these are the latest rankings. And Middle Tennessee State is the number 1 team in the land in men's Division III. At number 2 is Tampa. Oakland University. It's great to see Tampa, by the way, back in the ACHA fold, the college hockey South teams. Oakland University, the Grizzlies, back up at number 3. Of course, we all remember the run that they had in the 2010s, consecutive trips to the championship games, the Final Four. They were definitely a powerhouse back then. It's great to see them back. We talked about the college hockey South. How about South Florida, ranked number 4th right now? And Nebraska-Omaha, as we said, at number 5. Grand Valley at number 6. South Carolina, they've given Calvin, by the way, their only blemish on their record as they've gotten their season started. I'm sure with the next ranking cycle, we'll see Calvin back in. Grand Valley State, perennial team going to the national tournament. South Carolina at number 7, Clemson at 8, Northwood up at number 9, Michigan State at number 10. They're going to have a weekend set with Calvin, a home and home this weekend. Dort, we mentioned them earlier. They're at the top of the MACA at number 11. Pittsburgh Johnstown at 12. Lawrence Tech at 13. St. Vincent at 14. Central Florida at 15. UMass at 16. Then you got Western Michigan at 17. Emory-Riddle at 18. Miami at 19. Central Maine Community College at 20. Arizona State at 21. Adrian at 22. Wentworth at 23. Kennesaw State at 24. And Indiana at 25. So how it works in as far as looking forward to the national tournament, which is 4 months away, the top 16 teams are the ones that advance to pool play in men's Division III. So that's kind of where you want to be. Obviously, that is where you want to be towards the end of February when the last rankings are out in men's Division III. And then they go to pool play, 1 versus 16, 2, 15, 3, 14, and so on, to get set up in the pools. And it makes for an exciting weekend. And the final day of pool play is always one to keep an eye on at the national tournament, because a lot of times there are so many. It really is a great setup for that in men's Division III. So the other divisions that we have rankings for are men's Division I and women's Division I. The D2 rankings will be out soon. I believe it could be any minute. It could be later on tonight, could be tomorrow, but I know those are going to be out. And then the women's Division II rankings are coming out shortly too. And we keep an eye on those. Those are ever so important because they're in regional rankings, because they have regional tournaments coming up, qualifying tournaments on the men's side in D2 coming up this year. And we're going to talk to Dave Kurtz, the director of hockey operations, in about 5 minutes or so. And that'll be one of the topics we talk about with him, as we all know how exciting those regional tournaments are with it's a single elimination tournament, and it creates some great drama, which is a really good thing for the ACHA. And then those teams all get to go to St. Louis for the national tournament. All right, let's go back to the rankings. We mentioned the latest rankings are out for the women, hot off the press about an hour ago. The new number one team, the defending national champions, they are the Liberty Flames. They took on Maryville this past weekend in a rematch of last year's thrilling double overtime championship game that was won by Liberty 2-1. They swept them with games of 2-1 and 5-3. So again, Liberty is the new number one team in the land. They overtake Midland, who falls to number 2. McKendree is at number 3. Minot is at number 4. Maryville is at number 5. And then you've got Michigan Dearborn at 6, Arizona State at 7, Adrian at 8, Miami at 9, and Jamestown is up 1-10. Niagara at number 11. Then you've got UMass at 12. Indiana Tech up 1-13. Rhode Island, brand new this weekend to the top 15. They're at number 14. And Michigan hangs on as they fall down to 15. So the importance of these rankings are that the top 12 go to the national tournament, and they play in pool play. 3 or 4 groups of 3. And I'll tell you what, last year was the first year of the pool play for women's Division I, and that as well made for some really good drama down in St. Louis. So that's another thing to keep an eye on again, as we look forward to that tournament as well. And so that, of course, in March on the road to St. Louis. So the top 12, you want to keep an eye on UMass right now, bumping up to that number 12 spot. And by the way, UMass, we talk about them and we talk about Liberty. They're going to have a weekend set with each other. So we'll keep an eye on that one and give you the results of that next week, as we get a little more and more in depth each week now on a weekly basis with the ACHA Power Play with our road to St. Louis. The marathon part of the season, of course, is before the holidays. And then afterwards, when we come back in January, we've got like 2 months, if that, 6 weeks really, to get ready for the national tournament, teams jockeying for positions and whatnot. So, all right, finally, the last rankings we have, men's Division I. The next ones are due out. We'll probably see those tomorrow, and I'll make sure to share those on my social media pages. Number one team in the land, first computerized rankings were released last week, and Ohio is ranked number 1, followed by Niagara up to number 2. They've got a loaded team this year. Tom Meridian's team. Tom, congratulations to him. Just got his 100th career victory in the last couple of weeks. So they're ranked number 2. Minot State at number 3. Jamestown up to number 4. Calvin made a big jump up to number 5. They had a weekend sweep against Purdue Northwest. Liberty fell to number 6. Adrian is at 7. Nevada, Las Vegas, the defending national champions, they're at number 8 this week. Drury is at 9. Maryville is at 10. Hope College, first year in Division I, they're ranked at number 11. They've got an interesting weekend set coming up, a home and home with crosstown rival Grand Valley. So we'll keep an eye on that. Grand Valley usually right around the rankings. They're not in the top 25 this week, but they're pretty darn close. At number 12, UMary. 13 is Utah. Purdue Northwest at 14. Pitt at 15. Arizona at 16. Indiana Tech at 17. Westchester 18. Grand Canyon at 19. Stony Brook at 20. Cleary at 21. Davenport at 22. Indiana University of Pennsylvania at 23. Missouri State at 24. Those last 5 all in the rankings, nationally ranked for the first time. All right, let's get back to the guest line, and let's welcome in one of the founding fathers of the ACHA Power Play podcast, the Director of Hockey Operations, Dave Kurtz. Dave, thanks for taking time out tonight. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing, Lou?
I'm fantastic. I'm great. Wow, a lot's changed since we started doing this podcast, just starting it out when you and I were solely involved in D3. And man, it's been a fun ride the last 10 years.
It has been. It's certainly grown. It's just amazing to watch how, just in terms of the technology, how it's changed over the last decade.
Oh, for sure. And when we started out, we were looking forward to the first year of all the divisions meeting in one place for a national tournament in Columbus. Then we went to Dallas and, Boston and St. Louis. Now we're in our home for the foreseeable future. And that's been fun to see that grow too, the development of that.
Oh yeah. I mean, St. Louis has been great. It's as long as we stay away from having tornadoes, which we seem to be having a problem with, but when the weather's good, it's a great place to be at. At Centene and Harrahill, and it's great for location, and we love our time with partnering with the Blues, and it's a great time for everyone to see each other again.
Well, Dave, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a couple of new things. The first thing is we've got a new division this year in the ACHA, the American Collegiate Developmental Conference. Tell us a little bit about that. Give us a Cliff Notes version of that, how that came to be and how that's going to help benefit even more the ACHA down the road.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's something that's been in discussion for a while in very different forms. One of the great things about the ACHA and its growth over the last now 35 years is that when the ACHA would start new divisions, a lot of times the new divisions would be built around because there was a wide breadth of ability and organization and maybe budget and things like that. And so you would have this new division created so that teams that were starting out or just building or in maybe wouldn't be able to travel quite as much would be able to play other teams. They wouldn't be stuck kind of being in the bottom end of a larger division. So whether it was 1 to 2 on the men's side, then 2 to 3, and then women's 1 that made it 2. It was always this thing of trying to grow the game, but not make it where you have to be a brand new team and go out and get pumped 25 to nothing right out of the gate. But the awesome thing is that what happens is these divisions then get even better.
Yeah.
And so now you would see teams become more organized and play better. And while divisionally they might fit, everyone moves up and in terms of just quality. And so you still have that growth of the game need. And this is what the ACDC allows. For some places, it just allows them to be able to have some organizational help as they're getting something started. It still is very much a student-run organization in a lot of places. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they need help. Sometimes they just want to be able to say, hey, we can tell our players and our parents and our school that we're a part of a national organization that's going to provide some help for us. We'll be able to provide us a pathway to easily get insurance at a reasonable rate. All these things where they might not have had that if they were just playing in a local league or trying to get out because they couldn't say, well, we can't travel or we're not. We maybe in some cases the ACDC allows for the idea of having a few players from other schools that they need to combine in order to exist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can't exist because you don't have a goalie, but a goalie is at the next college down the road, well, maybe in the future you won't need to have it because you'll be able to recruit a goalie. But it's the difference between if you don't play, then it's never going to get started. If you don't take that first step.
Yeah.
So that's huge for that. The other side is a lot of schools, they just have so many kids that want to play, so many students that want to play. And but nobody wants to be the 40th guy on a bench.
Right.
And so if you have, Sacred Heart is a perfect example. They have a bunch of teams, including not one but two ACDC teams.
Wow.
Because they have just that number of people that want to play hockey at Sacred Heart. And so now, instead of before, it would be two teams right now, because they're an M2 and M3 right now. That's, let's say, even if you go big and you say you carry 30 players, that's 60 people, but you have another 60 kids that are just not going to play or have to go play and join a local league. And now they get to play organized hockey. Maybe their talent maybe continues to grow. Maybe maybe one player shows up and he grows 3 inches and gains 15 pounds of muscle in his freshman year, and suddenly he can play on M3. Well, if he was not playing at all, that would never happen. So we're excited. We are so excited about what the ACDC allows, and we're excited to see when we have a full off season to continue to kind of refine and prep it what it's going to look like in the 26-27 season.
And, Dave, it's just like, even the teams in the other divisions that have been around a while, I think the ACHA in the 10 years we've been doing this podcast, in leaps and bounds, I think has really done a great job in promoting that, how you can play top level hockey and get an education at the same time. Because the bottom line, that's what it's all about, in my opinion. And these kids, I think, have just taken off on that. And I think the ACHA has done an amazing job in promoting it, going down that route.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so one of the other things that's new this year, you and I talked about it off the air, is Division II this year with their regionals. It's a different twist.
Yeah.
There is no free road to the Nationals with a 1 and 2 seed now. Everybody's going to be put together, and for folks like you and I, it's going to make for one heck of a regional tournament come February.
Oh, absolutely. Before always in some form there have been auto bids to Nationals. Always the top 2 teams, and then over the years, excuse me, the regionals has expanded and gone from 2 days. Then for a while it was like 2 games on a Friday night. Then the real kind of was almost like play-ins, and then it became a full day on a 3-day. And now we're back to 2, but we're having 16 teams from each region. So that means that 64 teams will fight to become 16, and that's huge. You're looking at a lot of teams having the ability to play their way into Nationals, and a lot of that is about the idea of how can we give the most bang for the buck for these students who are paying a lot of money to play an expensive sport. And this way you have a chance to lay it on that. You can win your way in if you get into that top 16, whether through the ranking or through a league auto bid, but it's there. It's not like we're not debating it like the college football playoff.
Yeah, right.
You have a chance to step onto the ice and play. Now, does that mean you might play a big perennial national champion level team like an FGCU or a Lindenwood in your first game, and you've probably maybe not played somebody that good, or maybe play them once a year, a team of that caliber? Yeah, but we all know it takes one goalie to decide to stand on his head, and it's that last 5 minutes is sweating for everybody. But I think it's good. I think as M2 continues to grow, as now we're bumping up against 200 teams, I think we'll cross the 200 barrier. I think this will be. I think we'll see probably some more refinement over it, and we'll see how it all kind of shakes out. But for the next couple of years, it's going to be 16 teams over 2 days. So on the day 1 of the tournament, there'll be 8 games being played, similar to like a pool play day at Nationals, where you'll come out with 8 winners, and those 8 winners will meet the next day. Everything's reseeded, and then they meet, and then the 4 winners on that second day will get tickets to the Nationals. And I tell you what, that those days are incredible. No matter, for years have been incredible at the regionals. Just like the win to go to Nationals. It has become like our March Madness in the sense of like excitement. Like, you see those teams that win, they're so excited. I remember last year I was at the Southeast Regional, and there was a player for Indiana. Now, Indiana had gone to Nationals several years in a row, and they were the defending national champion at the regional. Okay, so like they had won the year before, so they have lifted the cup.
Yeah.
And the first thing that they said when they won was one of the players ran over to like where I was standing at and said, get us the ticket, because we give out these oversized tickets and everything.
Yeah.
So here's a team that raised the national championship cup, the pinnacle of Division II the year before, and they were still just excited to win that game and get a ticket to nationals. It was like that excitement, and that's the excitement that we look for, and it was incredible. So we're excited. It's going to be Purdue Northwest is hosting the Central in their area. And then we're going back to Simsbury for the Northeast.
Nice.
They were great hosts last year, and so we're excited about going there. For the Southeast, we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio. I can't remember which rink it is of the Chillers, but it's in that, those ones which we all have history there from years and years ago.
Sure do.
And then University of Utah is hosting the West ones, and so we're excited. Several of those places are new. The Purdue's the only new one. But I mean, they're really on board. That place has been growing. Their M1, their M2 team. They're starting the next year. There'll be a women's Division I team at Purdue Northwest. The school has gotten really behind their hockey programs, and so this is a chance for them to be able to showcase what they're doing in their area for the ACHA. Kind of national, regional people and stuff like that, which is exciting.
Last year, the women's D1 national tournament went to the pool play. What was the feedback, Dave, from that after everything was said and done? I liked it last year the way it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple play. Obviously, like anything else, there's a lot of change. I think women's one is a very good barometer for watching a division grow and morph in real time. I mean, it's been a long time since any of the men's side has really, I mean, there's been some expansion, some adjustments, but really it's been almost the same. Men's has always been a one and done. They've just made it bigger. M2 and M3 really for a long period of time have been pool play. And then W2, I think, has been pool play for several years as well. But W1 has changed a lot several times. There's been years where they were, best 2 out of 3 played the same team. And then during the pandemic year, when we played in 21-22, they did do pool play just because of number of teams. And then they went to a different kind of double elimination sort of kind of way. Is you needed an abacus and a calculator to figure out kind of all the permutations. But and then they went to this, and I think there's some tweaking that they're still looking to do in terms of making sure that that the games are the best chance to keep the games competitive throughout. In terms of like when you walk into the arena on the third day, that you have a chance, and maybe a crazy wackadoo mathematical chance. But that's always what we hope for. As the ACHA, I would love it if every team that plays shows up on that third day if they're doing pool play, that at least when they walk into the building or when they wake up on that morning, they have a chance. Nobody wants to wake up and know you're already eliminated.
Right.
Even if it means you need a miracle, which we see sometimes. But I think they like it. I think they like the fact that that you're guaranteed multiple games. I think that it allows you to play more people, get more established than say a single elimination term, or even a 2 out of 3 where you're playing the same team twice. You're not really getting a great. I mean, it's an okay experience, I guess. Especially if you split, you go to a winner take all game, but you're still just playing the same team. This way, you get several different teams to play. You're gonna you might see some upsets. You're gonna grow your programs. You're gonna get your name out there, and we see it. And I think that W1 is on the right track to having they have a great tournament now. And I think that they're being proactive to find what fits best for their size. And I think once they really feel they've honed in on it, then I think it's going to be one of the best tournaments there, because you can say teams like a Liberty, obviously with their record and their history are would obviously be favorites every year, but but there seems to be teams like a Maryville has really shown that their program has grown. There's always Minot and Midland. Like, you're starting to see some depth come in a little bit more into W1, I think, where you're going to see because of the pool play. I think if not this year, certainly next year, it would not shock me if there is a significant upset in pool play.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Where you see someone get obviously not eliminated necessarily, but upset and make the pool very interesting.
Oh, for sure. I'll tell you what, it's going to be tough to beat that final from last year, that double overtime game.
I mean, and that's what we want. And
yes.
That's what we, as the ACHA, we don't take sides of who we want to win. We just want the games to be competitive. We want to be able to watch two teams just leave it out all on the ice and everything there. And when that final goal is scored, I mean, we love overtime. We don't love overtime if we're trying to make a flight like I had to one time, but we love overtime in the thing because it's so incredible. And that's why hockey is the greatest sport in the world, especially when it comes to postseason overtime, because there is no sport like that. There is no sport that literally you can blink and it's over, or you can go forever.
So, Dave, when does your schedule, when it comes to the Nationals, really ratchet up? Is it going 100 miles an hour now, or is it after the holidays? When does it really get to be go time for you as director of hockey operations?
So obviously, because of the fact that we've been going to St. Louis so many times, it makes the front end a little bit easier every year because it becomes less of the same. We don't have to ask if we were going to a different place, we'd be asking the same questions every time we went somewhere. Things like that. We actually will start meeting soon in a week or two. And we have like basically bi-monthly, twice every other week, national tournament calls that bring together ACHA staff in St. Louis, people that are helping with volunteers, with scorekeepers, all these people that make it go, all the behind the scenes people. And we start having conversations about, hey, what's going on, where are we at with these things? We have a long just checklist that goes on that pretty much we have down to almost to at least a week. If not even, sometimes it feels like the day of what stuff needs to be done. But we built it so much and refined it so much that it's literally like, okay, here's the list for 2026 with just new dates added. Like, the dates have been changed to reflect the calendar, but it doesn't change what we got to do. So we'll start doing that. Again, like I said, in a week or two. We'll keep that pretty much going through the break. Obviously not right around the holidays like there, but then we'll crank up, and usually starting in February, we'll go weekly. To make sure, because that's when we start getting into the nitty gritty, because we start finding out teams that are coming. We're dealing, hotels become a thing. The Nationals website goes. So I would say if you're asking me when things really start ramping up on the operations side, it's when it's heading, when we come back from the break, we start going probably the beginning of February, because starting then is when you start seeing teams clinch bids, when you start seeing teams asking about hotels because they know they're going. So we have to get the Nationals website up. We need to make sure that everything's working, that the links are going where they need to go. And then it's just basically, you just hold on to the roller coaster until that last buzzer in March. It really is. Every day is just doing something. If you're not doing something, it means you missed something.
Well, whatever you've done, Dave, I got to tell you, you're doing a great job. Even if your mind is all chaotic, you put up a good front, because you guys, it wasn't nothing bigger of a test than last year with the tornadoes and everything. How you guys were able to handle that. My fedora is tipped to you guys. That was one heck of a job you did over that 36-hour span to keep everything going smoothly, I might add.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were a lot of people that came together that did a lot. Like, I mean, we always appreciate the acknowledgement. And it was difficult, but I tell you, like, there were people that came out of the woodwork, and I tell you, especially the rinks, ending up in McKendree for a day, while I was in McKendree for one, then I was in St. Charles, which is like going past the Centene going further the other way, and like these people were just helpful.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had stuff going on too, where life was a little crazy for them because again, a tornado came through.
Right.
So it was great. I'm very glad that I have a great group that I work with and a great plan. I hope that it's something that I don't have to do again,
right?
Because it was uber stressful, and I'm sure Centene would not want to have to deal with their ice melting in their faces. But I think people like yourself. The greatest thing I think about the ACHA is that it is a family. And sometimes the members go away for a while, and then come back. Sometimes we don't see people for a long period of time, but the great part is that that there are people in all the areas that if it comes down to everyone's got to grab a hold of something and pull in direction to make it happen, then we know we have that. We never have to worry about someone not pulling their weight or doing above and beyond what their job description has in order to make sure that it happens and pulls off. And it is a great experience for the students because that in the end, that's what we want for the students and for the fans and parents and everything that come. If they have a great experience, no matter how crazy it may be behind the scenes, it's a success.
Well, Dave, I'd be remiss without giving your teams a plug. Switching just for a second, your Ravens are going to win that division, and the Avalanche with only one loss. Wow, off to a great start there, but the Ravens are going to win that division, and we're going to help you when Pittsburgh comes to Detroit in December. Knock Aaron Rodgers down.
Because I can't rely upon Green Bay to do anything for me. I tell you that.
They're terrible.
They're terrible. Well, and look, your Red Wings are doing great. They've gotten out to a good start.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. You got to get off on that good thing. And the Lions are playing well.
Yep.
Now that your coach has taken over the play calling and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I'm glad. Yes, as a Raven fan, it was a very hard September, October, but I'm excited about November. And I'm very interested now that Joe Burrow is going to be showing up at outside my barn on Thanksgiving Eve.
Wouldn't that be something, huh?
I was hoping to see Joe Flacco for the second time at M&T again. How often do you see a guy come to your place twice in the regular season?
Oh my, no kidding. That's funny. Well, Dave, hey, I appreciate you coming on tonight on short notice, and thank you for allowing me to have the platform here. I love doing this, and I'm going to keep doing it. This has been a fun 10 years. I know you've been with the ACHA a lot longer than that, but thank you, and keep up the great work, man. This has been a treat for me.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all you've done, Lou, and just helping support keeping the ACHA going out there, which is great. All right.
Well, we'll be in touch. And if I don't talk to you beforehand, happy Thanksgiving. And again, thanks again. We'll talk to you real soon.
All right, sir. You have a great evening.
All right. You too, Dave. Thank you. Dave Kurtz, the Director of Hockey Operations for the ACHA. So many fun things going on with them. In the last 10 years, we've talked about it. We started out, Dave and I didn't know each other for Adam. I found he was the M3 commissioner. We got talking on the phone. We must have talked for about, I'd say an hour and a half, talking about what we wanted to do just to kind of get the word out of the D3 teams, doing an audio-only podcast back then, and it's growing. And now it's like the ACHA kind of growing more and more. And everything that Dave does and that whole crew, from Craig Barnett all the way down, all the commissioners and everything, I want to thank them all for letting me have this platform too, to be able to help spread the word of the ACHA with all the great players, all the great teams, coaches, everybody behind the scenes that just do a wonderful job of promoting this great game of hockey. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to tell you some of the big games that are going to be happening this weekend and wrap it up here on Episode 6, Season 10 of the ACHA Power Play. You're watching it right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here. Hey, is there a ball game you want to go to last minute? How about the Spartans at Spartan Stadium? Go to the big house to watch the Wolverines. Is there an NFL game you want to go to? Lambeau Field, Ford Field, wherever, Baltimore? How about the Tigers for the pennant drive? Well, go to SeatGeek. Get those tickets there. Use the promo code Captain Lou right on the screen, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. So go to the Spartan game. Go to the Big House. But use the promo code Captain Lou at SeatGeek, and you'll be all set. Indeed, you will. We talk about all the games that you can go to. There's concerts as well. If there's a big-time actor, a big-time show you want to go to SeatGeek, the official secondary market of the sports network, and use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off your purchase. Hey, a reminder, too, subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Captain Lou Sports Network, the home of the ACHA Power Play. You do that, you can get all of our archive shows, all of our shows that we do, the ACHA Power Play, each week from here on out. We'll be having the Power Play podcast with coaches, players, you name it, administrators, everybody. And it's once we get closer, it may expand to 90 minutes too. We'll keep an eye on that as well. As so much to talk about with all the rankings. When all 5 divisions get the rankings out, we can better kind of gauge what big games are going on. Each week we'll be able to tell you that. And so, but in order to watch those, in case you have missed a show or an interview, all of our interviews on there, go to the Captain Lou Sports Network and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can get all the ACHA Power Plays live, archived, interviews, you name it. We've got them right there. Again, thanks to Dave Kurtz, the Director of Hockey Operations, for taking time out of his schedule as they're starting to get ramped up a little bit. The road to St. Louis 2026, the national tournament, the middle of March coming up. It's going to be here before you know it. 4 months from this week, it's puck drop, and it's exciting to hear where the regional tournaments are going to be. The Central Region at Purdue Northwest, they're going to host it. Columbus is going to host the Southeast, out in New York for the Northeast, and then the University of Utah for the West. So great venues for those tournaments. And again, the new news this year, no auto bids in any of the divisions. It's going to be 1 through 16 in a 2-day tournament to see who gets those 4 spots. So really excited. Hope to be a part of those broadcasts as well coming up in February. All right, as we wrap up the show here tonight, let's take a look at some of the big games. What we do is we look at the rankings and find out who's playing whom that are ranked in the top of the rankings. So let's go with the women's D1. We always, every week, have an abundance of weekend sets with great matchups. And starts out tomorrow or Thursday as number 3 McKendree is going to take on number 7 Arizona State. They're going to play 2, and then Arizona State's going to go over to Maryville and take on the Saints, who are number 5 this week. So big weekend for them. Adrian is going to take on Indiana Tech. Adrian at number 8, iTech at number 13, Minot at number 4. Always a national power, always right there at the end. They're going to take on number 10 Jamestown. And we talked about it earlier. It's going to be number 1 Liberty, the new number 1 team in the land, the defending national champions. They're going to be taking on number 12 UMass. So that's going to be a fun matchup this weekend. We'll keep an eye on all of those, and we'll get you caught up on all of those results next week as well. In D3, really the only matchup of 2 ranked teams. It's a big one, though. It's a rivalry down south, as we mentioned. Great to see the Southern teams back in the ACHA. Number 2 Tampa taking on number 4 South Florida. So that's going to be one heck of a matchup down there. Always 2 great quality programs in Division 3, and they get to do battle this weekend. In men's Division 1, we've got number 13 Utah taking on number 16 Arizona this weekend. That ought to be a good one. Ohio is going to be taking on number 10 Maryville. Ohio, the number 1 team in the country this week so far in the ACHA Men's Division 1. And these 2 teams, whenever they take part, it's always a knockdown, drag out. This weekend, it's number 3 Minot against number 4 Jamestown. So that ought to be a good one as well. A great weekend set, the Jimmies and Minot State. So the Beavers there. So that's going to be one heck of a matchup. And one, a little kind of for personally here this weekend in D3, Calvin is going to take on Michigan State. Calvin, yet to be ranked. They are 5-0-1 on the year. They're going to take on number 10 ranked Michigan State in a home and home. That's going to be one heck of a matchup in the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference. So, all right, there you go. That's what's on tap this weekend of battles between ranked teams. And we'll get you up to date next week on all the results of those and a whole lot more. Okay, well, an hour flies by when we do this, and it's always been a fun time. And I want to thank everybody for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your laptops, iPhones, however you watch us around the world here on the ACHA Power Play. I want to thank Nick Harrahill, the head coach of Nebraska-Omaha, the Mavericks, ranked number 5 in the country this week in the men's Division III poll, for stopping by and chatting with us. He's done a heck of a job with that program in his 3rd year. Their highest ranking ever in program history. And I got a feeling they're going to be up there to stay for a while. Wouldn't be surprised if I see them lacing up the skates down at Centene in the national tournament come March of 2026. And of course, as always, one of the founders of the ACHA Power Play podcast back 10 years ago when we started, Dave Kurtz, now the director of hockey operations for the ACHA, always gracious with his time, getting us up to date on what's going on in his world of the ACHA. And again, want to thank you as well. All right. Until next time, next Tuesday, 7 o'clock, where we'll have another great slate of guests and a whole lot more with the road to St. Louis. Captain Lou on the ACHA Power Play saying, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving. And as always, keep your minds open. Be safe. Enjoy the hockey this weekend. We'll see you next time here on the ACHA Power Play on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. So long.